Think about how much we're all leaning on AI now, every single day.
It's really embedded, isn't it?
Totally. Like that chatbot you use to brainstorm, or the music app that just knows the next song.
Mm-hmm. Or even those tools helping out at work.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
usually, all that brain power, it's somewhere else up in the
Ish.
cloud, right?
Right. We send requests out hoping these huge remote systems get back to us.
But things seem to be shifting a bit. There's this growing buzz around, well, local AI.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got some great material here looking into why people are starting to want AI running on their own devices, their own computers.
It's quite a change in thinking.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Let's unpack what's driving this move to local AI and what it might actually mean for you.
Sounds good. It really is a fundamental shift we're seeing. The cloud model, as the sources point out, has been king for a long time.
Offering all that computing power on tap.
Exactly. But, well, maybe that model is hitting some limitations now.
Yeah, okay, let's dig into that cloud thing first. It seemed amazing initially, didn't it? Tapping into these massive data centers.
Almost like science fiction became reality.
But that convenience, as our forces highlight, it has a cost, a potentially growing one.
Mm.
Because the more we all use AI, the more strain there is on those cloud servers.
Makes sense. More demand means needing more infrastructure.
And who pays for that? Well, usually it's the users, right? Through fees, subscriptions. It's like a running meter.
Precisely. That pay-per-use model was flexible, sure. But as AI becomes more central to what we do, it starts looking less sustainable for a lot of people.
Kind of like renting versus buying.
Exactly, that analogy.
Wow.
Those rental fees, they add up over time, especially if you're using AI a lot.
Right.
And the sources also bring up another key point, a weakness, really. Downtime.
Ah, yes. Unreliability.
If your internet connection drops or the cloud service itself has problems, poof, your AI tool is gone.
Which is incredibly frustrating. You're mid-thought,
Hmm.
maybe brainstorming, and bam, offline.
Yeah.
It does feel like maybe that whole centralized pay-as-you-go thing is reaching some kind of limit.
And that's precisely where local AI enters the picture as a really interesting alternative.
Okay, so local AI, tell us more. It flips the model.
Completely. Instead of relying on those far-off data centers, you're running the AI models right there, on your own gear.
Like on my powerful desktop computer, maybe?
Yeah,
Or a home server?
exactly. It could be either. And the momentum, especially now in 2025, it's really picking up, according to the material we have. It's not just a tiny niche thing anymore.
Okay, so bringing AI home, basically. What's the big draw? Why is this trend growing? Let's talk money first. That usually gets attention. How does local AI save costs?
Well, that's a huge driver, definitely. The data we looked at suggests that, yes, you have an initial cost for the hardware.
Right, you got to buy the gear.
But after that one-time purchase, the long-term savings can be pretty significant compared to ongoing cloud subscription fees.
So pay once, use potentially forever, instead of paying every month or every year.
That's the idea. No more recurring charges, just access the AI's capabilities.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Like
Oh.
buying the coffee machine instead of the daily latte.
Good analogy, yeah.
But then there's privacy. That's a huge one for so many people. How does local AI stack up there?
This is critical, and it's highlighted clearly in the sources. People are worried about data privacy, about who controls the AI. There was that survey mentioned.
Yeah, I saw that reference. It shows real concern.
It does. Because with cloud AI, let's face it, your prompts, your chats, they often get logged, analyzed.
It feels uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah.
Putting your thoughts out there, wondering who sees them, how they're used.
Exactly. It raises legitimate questions. But contrast that with local AI.
Yeah.
As the material emphasizes, your data basically stays put. It doesn't leave your computer or your local server.
So it's not being sent across the internet to some company's server farm.
Correct. Which gives you a much greater sense of security, of control. You own your data and you know where it is. It's self-protection, really.
I like that framing. Self-protection. That feels empowering. Okay, so cost savings, better privacy. What about just like how well it works? Is it fast? Reliable?
Performance is another major plus, according to our sources. They talk about near zero latency.
Latency. That's the delay, right? The lag time.
Exactly. When the model's running right there on your machine, the response is almost instantaneous. The data doesn't have to travel anywhere.
Which is a huge difference compared to the cloud sometimes. We've all hit that wall, haven't we? Type something in, wait.
Mm-hmm. Still waiting.
Yeah. The sources mention how cloud servers get overloaded when tons of people are hitting them at once. Performance gets sluggish, inconsistent.
Precisely. With local AI, it's just you. The computer's power is dedicated to your task, so it's faster, more efficient, and just generally more reliable.
A dedicated AI engine just for you.
In essence, yes.
Okay, and another benefit that sounds really appealing, offline use. Tell us about that.
This is a big one. The sources point out as long as your local machine or server is running, you don't need the internet to use the AI.
Wow. Okay, so if the Wi-Fi goes out,
Doesn't matter. You can keep working with the AI. Think about traveling or places with spotty internet or just wanting that independence.
that's massive. Constant access, regardless of connectivity.
Yeah.
Huge plus. Now, the sources did mention one sort of counterpoint, that initial cost.
Right, the upfront hardware investment. It's important to acknowledge that.
So how does that weigh against these other benefits?
Well, the sources frame it as just that, an initial cost, a one-time thing.
Okay.
And when you weigh that single purchase against potentially endless recurring cloud fees, plus the performance issues, the privacy concerns, that one-time cost starts to look like an investment.
An investment that unlocks all those other benefits without ongoing problems.
Exactly. Infinite possibilities, no ongoing charges for usage. It's about long-term value and control.
Got it. Okay, so we've walked through the cloud's limits, the rise of local AI, covering money, privacy, performance, offline use. Let's bring it back to the listener. Why should you care about this shift?
Well, it really ties into wanting knowledge and tools without feeling, I don't know, overwhelmed or like you've lost control.
Right, you want the power of AI, but maybe not the downsides of the current dominant model.
Exactly. Local AI offers you more direct command over your data. It promises more reliable, faster interactions without those annoying delays, and potentially long-term financial savings.
So it aligns with wanting to be informed, efficient, and crucially, in charge of your own digital world.
I think that sums it up well.
Okay, so wrapping up, we're definitely seeing this significant move, or at least the beginning of one, away from total reliance on the cloud for AI.
Driven by the cloud model's own limitations, really.
And local AI is stepping up as this really powerful alternative, offering clear advantages, potential cost savings over time, much stronger privacy guarantees, better reliability, faster speed, and that killer app, offline functionality.
It really leaves you with something interesting to think about, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, what does it truly mean for you to have complete control over your AI, your data, your interactions? What kind of innovation or personal growth could that unlock, being free from those remote server constraints?
That's a great final thought. Really makes you consider the AI tools you rely on most, doesn't it? And how having that power, that control right there on your own device, how that might fundamentally change your experience. It feels like the start of something pretty big.